Hello, I'm back again. And for a while, I've been thinking that I really want to do a tour of my Ever After High doll collection because it's kind of an obsession that creeps in every summer. I leave school, I leave most of my friends behind, and then the dolls start speaking to me and I just get more and more. So I really kind of want to go through, take inventory of what I have, show some of the coolest pieces and parts of each of the individual dolls, and talk about what I like about them, where they came from, and just kind of keep this as a bit of a doll diary. So I'll get started and we'll go in chronological order. So the first doll that is part of my collection is this Apple White doll. She is fully complete. She has all of her accessories, including the little ring, her necklace, both her earrings, purse, bracelet, and headband, as well as her shoes. She is first chapter. It's important to note that in terms of my collector profile, I am definitely an out-of-box collector, and I only collect dolls from the first chapter. So far, there are a few others from other lines that I'm interested in, but not really part of my collection at the moment. So yeah, Apple was my first doll, and for that I have like a total soft spot for her. I will always defend my girl. I'm not about the Apple White haters. She, I think, is absolutely stunning, and she has held up so well over time. I got her when Ever After High was just like brand new, so she is a first wave, and I got her for Christmas from my parents because I had seen like Ever After High advertised on TV and in stores, and I just thought that they were so beautiful. I love fairy tales. I have, like, on this bookshelf behind me, I've got like collections of all different types of folklore and fairy tales, so this was totally up my alley, more so than like Monster High was. But I do have some Monster High dolls up there, but I wasn't as into those. So yeah, started out with Apple, and I think that she is a great example of the kind of very 2014, very twee inspired fashion, kind of Tumblr girl that Ever After High represents. She has these giant shoes that I love. They have little bows, and they're meant to look like apples to coincide with her name. She has apple blossoms on the side of this big puffy skirt, as well as apple details right up close here. Yeah, you can also tell that she's a first wave because she has like the more dramatic makeup, including the little dots along her lips. So I'm a big fan of those, and she's just an absolutely gorgeous doll. The second doll who is part of my collection is this Madeline Hatter doll. She is also first wave. I bought her at Target with my own money back when Target was still in Canada, and I was like really torn between whether I wanted to get Maddie or I wanted to get Raven, because of course in the lore Apple and Raven are roommates, so I thought, you know, that could make for some good like play storylines. But I eventually went with Maddie because I thought that her design was nicer and I liked her more as a character. I really love her in the webisodes, so I went with the Maddie doll, and she's held up pretty good over time, with a few little caveats. She is missing her ring. I was playing with her outside once and the ring fell off into the grass and was never seen again. But other than that, she has all of her accessories. You may notice that on her face right here, she has a few dents, and that is because I had a very vindictive cat who targeted her one day and tried to tear her to pieces. But I was able to rescue her before the damage was too bad. And you know, that cat has since passed on, so the doll lasted longer, outlived the cat, so I guess she won in the end. The third doll that I'm going to showcase is this Farrah Good Fairy doll, who is kind of responsible for all of the chaos that has ensued after. I found her last summer at a thrift store for $3, and I like dropped everything. I was like, no way is that an Ever After High doll, because, you know, I got that Maddie doll and that was the last one I got. The series ended pretty abruptly after that, and yeah, it was really sad that they've become very hard to find. So I found her at the thrift and she had her dress, which has all of these gem effects. Uncut gems. I just read Julia Fox's book Down the Drain. I'm a little late to that party, but it was so fun. Anyway, and she actually had the shoes. So I feel like when you have little kids, the first thing that they like take off are the shoes, first thing that they lose, especially these ones, because these ones look like they'd be really good to chew on, just like those Polly Pocket clothes. But I really love the shoes, and every time I kind of pick them up and look at them, I notice new things about them. Like on the front, there's a pumpkin to reference the fact that she is like the good fairy, and so she'll like grant people's wishes. She'll turn the pumpkin into a carriage so you can get to the ball. As well as they're covered in stars, which she has a star motif on her other accessories, which she didn't originally come with at the thrift store. It was just the doll with her dress and shoes. And so I was kind of on the hunt for some accessories, but to get them, just the accessories, it's almost as much as to get a complete doll. So one time I was buying some other dolls and the person was like, oh, hey, we can do a bundle. I have a bunch of accessories if there's anything you're looking for. And this collector that I bought some other dolls from, had the wings. So I was able to get her fairy wings, which is so fun, and it totally elevates the doll. But I'm definitely still looking for her headband and wand. But she's adorable. I love her makeup. I love her sweet little expression. Her hair is a bit faded, but honestly, for like $3 at a thrift store, this was a great find. So going from good fairy to evil fairy, I have Faybelle Thorne, who was the first doll that I bought after I decided I really wanted to start collecting more Ever After High dolls in the blah blah, highly politicized, reclaiming your girlhood, whatever. I shouldn't be like shunting that. But yeah, this is kind of me just like having grown up money and buying things that I wish I had as a kid. And also these dolls are so gorgeous, and I can really still appreciate the artistry, even though I'm not totally in the target demographic. So I bought these. She came with another doll, so I got two, and I'll show that one next. But I got them from a woman on Facebook Marketplace. She was in Quebec, and she just had them up on a listing, and they're like in pristine condition, $30 each, so I think that I got a great deal. She comes with all of her accessories. She's got her purse, she's got her cute little headband with the thorns on it, she's got her like fairy wings that I love are such a contrast to Farah's wings, really showing their differences as types of fairies. And she has these big stompy boots. She's one of the few like female dolls that wears pants as well. And yeah, then she has this cute shirt and, this super, super dramatic makeup, which I love. And yeah, so she was kind of the one that started it all in terms of my modern collecting. Unfortunately, once again, my evil pets have tried to ruin my doll collection. So I used to have her on a lower shelf. I have now moved them up to the very top of my bookshelf. But I used to have them down lower, and my dog got a hold of her and chewed her arm right off, so I had to glue it back on. She also ripped off the sleeve of her coat, so then I had to do a little bit of hot glue gun repair work on the shirt, but she's okay. I was really, really mad about it though. So hopefully in the future I can get a replacement shirt, but honestly I don't mind the arm too much. Also, her bang is so fun to style. So I'm gonna show the next doll that I got from the same buyer. I was the buyer. So the next doll that I got from that same woman off Facebook in Quebec is of course this lovely Raven Queen doll. And she was almost all complete except for the purse, which I managed to get as part of the same bundle that I got Farah's wings in. And she is an absolutely stunning doll. She is so striking. Her skirt with all these like little layers, these super, super dramatic shoes that are like almost Alexander McQueen inspired, the dramatic collar, her belt that has like a skull on it. she is like going all out. I know that, you know, Monster High has a lot of these like dark macabre themes to it, but I feel as though Raven would be totally at home in that world, especially with you know, some of these things I find they're very almost gratuitous with all the skulls all over her. She's very balletic, like ballet, and I absolutely adore her. I think that she is an excellent piece to add to the collection, and of course if I have Apple I need to balance her out with Raven, so just absolutely delighted to have gotten my hands on a Raven in such good condition. The next doll that I got my hands on was this Cedar Wood, who was never really my favorite character watching the show, and I never really planned on getting this doll, but I found her on Facebook Marketplace within like a really short drive from where I live, which is a rarity in terms of trying to find these dolls. She was actually being sold by a former coworker of mine, so it was a weird little reconnection there. Me buying her old Ever After High dolls, because yes, I did get another one on the same day. But once I took this doll in my hand and really took a close look at her, I'm like, oh my god, Cedar, I've been sleeping on you. She is, as far as I'm aware, the only Ever After High doll, at least in like my collection, that has the detailing on the skin, which, you know, it just shows such care was put into this design in particular. She's so like delicate looking. It truly looks like she's been carved. I love the details of her joints, having those like circular bits on them, as well as her shoes looking like these like tree stumps with all these knots in them. I think that her socks are so cute. They could be tied into bows. They keep coming undone for me though. The bracelet is a great addition. It has leaves and like a donkey and other references, like there's the blue fairy on there, like the whale that swallows Geppetto. That is like so tiny, and yet they went to the effort of doing that. There's also the grasshopper, like Jiminy Cricket, on her right on her barrette. And then she has a blue fairy blue ring, which adds this perfect little pop of color to the whole thing. She was almost complete. The only thing is, you don't notice it at first, but she has this earring, which is original, and then this one, she has a Holly O'Hare hairbrush earring instead. But otherwise, she has become one of my favorite characters design-wise, just because the level of detail that has been executed on this tiny little canvas, but makes sense, she's an artiste. As part of the deal with Cedar, I also got the Dexter Charming doll, and he is one of my favorite Ever After High characters, period, which is saying something, because I feel like in these doll lines like Monster High, Ever After High, the boys definitely do not get as much love or attention. If you've watched the Barbie movie, you know that's like the whole plot point in there. But I really love Dexter, and I was happy to get the doll. Only 3 or 4, like, they made a Daring Charming doll, but it's not good. It's like really ugly, and I don't really want it. So only 3 male Ever After High characters ever received a proper doll. 4 if you count Daring's weird doll that doesn't have like actual rooted hair. But I feel like there should have been more. I would kill for a Hopper Croakington, the 3rd doll. Maybe one day I'll get like a custom. But yeah, this is my Dexter Charming doll. I wish his hair looked more like it did in the webisodes and on his box art, but that's probably my biggest complaint. He's kind of perfect. I love his coat. His shoes are also great. I like that he has this like pocket chain that has like the Ever After High logo, as well as the charming coat of arms. I think that it conveys him as this awkward, nerdy, kind of techie guy really well. And I love the scarf. Like, it's so like hipster, it's so 2014, but it totally works. It's this perfect little time capsule to that era and what Mattel was thinking young girls thought was attractive in that time. And honestly, they were right. They were right. One Direction and this guy had the same stylist. I will also say that when I first got him, whenever I get a doll, I always wash them before I put them on display. It's just kind of a ritual I have. And I took his jacket off, and his former owner had given him a tattoo in permanent marker that I did wash off, but it was really funny that he had this like full-on sleeve tattoo upon arrival. The next dolls that I added to my collection were part of kind of the same canon. So I have two Wonderland dolls coming up. The first is Bunny Blanc. I got her off of eBay and it was a pretty good deal, so I absolutely jumped at the chance. I hopped at the chance. And she is really adorable. Her hair is not great, like it's super straw-like, so I'm probably gonna try to wash it again. Other than that though, she comes with almost all of her accessories. She's missing her purse, but in the grand scheme of things, I care probably the least about purses out of any of the accessories that these dolls can come with or be missing. So that's why I really, once again, hopped at that chance to get her when she went up on eBay. She has so many clock motifs hidden around her body. So she obviously has the skirt, but then if you look at her boots, you can't really see them because my camera is not great. But if you look at the bottoms, like the soles of her shoes, it's covered in numbers like you would see on a clock. Also, the heels of her boots are hourglasses. So Ever After High really goes all out, especially in the details on the shoes. So those are always the first things that I look at when I get a new doll, is like what's on the shoe. Yeah, so this is also her earrings. I believe they're carrots. When I first got her, I'm like, are those the vials, like they eat me and drink me, like those sort of things? But no, I think that they're carrots because she's a bunny. She also has kind of a steampunk thing going on up here, which once again, just like a great time capsule to what kids were into, what was going on Tumblr at the time. Now, I would not want to have Bunny without having Alistair, and this is one of my most favorite finds, is this complete Alistair doll. He has these huge stompy boots, these cute pants, and then he's got this amazing jacket, which I love as well. He has a canteen with a compass attached to it as his bag, and his hair is in such great shape and makes me really sad about what happened to Dexter. Like, they gelled this. This is rock hard. This is Raquel putting hairspray in her hair, and it's gonna hold up in a Category 5 hurricane. And honestly, he looks good. So I got him off of Facebook Marketplace. I made a post in an Ever After High group looking for people selling Wonderland characters, and a dealer reached out to me who had them. I have dealt with that person since, and they're super reliable, which I am so lucky to find some reliable people in those groups, because I know that that does not happen to everybody, including me. There's a lot of scammers operating in the Monster High and Ever After High Facebook groups, and in trying to get this doll, I actually got scammed at one point. So whoever took my $40, I hope you're happy. This is who you're stealing from. But I eventually found my way to a really great seller who's been able to help me find some other dolls that I've been searching for. So I'm very happy that Alistair led me to that place, and I also think that he is a super cute doll. The details on his coat are probably my favorite. He actually has the Eat Me and Drink Me vials, he's got teapots, he's got the like clubs, suits of cards, locks like to doors. So yeah, this is my Alistair doll. I returned to the Charming family with darling charming. I have an apple white, so of course I have to get her darling, her knight in shining armor. Darling is, again, one of my favorite Ever After High characters. I really like her melding of these like medieval knight elements along with these Marie Antoinette kind of French court inspired fashions. I think she is absolutely to die for. 10 out of 10 would go to the guillotine for her. I got her off of eBay, once again for a pretty good price. She doesn't have the painted details on her collar or belt, which some do. She doesn't, but she still has like the elastics in her hair, so it's clear that she was kept in very good condition. She has her purse, which is like this armored purse, almost like the chainmail fashion trends. Yeah, I'm just looking at it in detail. It's captivating. So I really love her blending of armor with these ultra feminine vibes. I think that is super cute. I love the way her hair is styled in the back. I love the blue streaks, and whenever, oh my goodness, her purse fell off. She's like me, she doesn't want to carry a purse. But yeah, whenever I have her up on my shelf, I always position her next to Apple, because they are true loves, do not separate them. I ended up getting in contact with that same seller who got me Alistair to get my Ashlyn Ella doll. This was another doll that I really, really wanted as a kid because she's so pretty. I think one of the best designs that Ever After High has, with like these delicate kind of taffeta things, her puffed sleeves, all of these little details on her, and of course the shoes. If they're gonna make a Cinderella doll, they have to go all out on the shoes, and these are so exquisite. They are beautifully sculpted, they're clear, they have these vines on them, they look so delicate, and they're covered in these like sun designs with jewels and bows. They're absolutely perfect and exactly what I want to see from a Cinderella inspired doll. She also has lots of great details on her jewelry, almost in the same vein as Cedar. Like these two are like head and shoulders above the rest. She has a little bird on her ring. She has this bracelet that has those kind of Easter eggs. It's covered in shoes. She's got a necklace that has, I believe it's a clock on it, so like the clock strikes 12. She's also got more little birds on her headband, and then of course she has this giant clock purse, which is so fabulous. And then her hair, it's a little messy, but you can still see just how delicately it's curled and coiffed at the top. She has this braided detail, so much effort went into crafting these dolls. Both in terms of the design side as well as the people who actually manufactured them. So hats off to you, Mattel. This one is a home run, absolutely. And of course, Ashlyn Ella cannot be separated from her true love. So I also got Hunter from that same seller that I met through Facebook. And yeah, they came as a little bundle. And he is in excellent condition as well. He still has some of the plastic tags holding his hood to the rest of his vest or jacket. He has these huge stompy boots just like Alistair, and they have some fun details on them as well. Like they have clasps, they have laces coming off of them. He's got this weird like keychain thing that has, I think it's just like a compass, a nut for Pesky the squirrel. He's got this really cool leather band because he's like in touch with his feelings. He's not like other guys or something. And he's got this nice bag, and I appreciate the fact that it opens. The haircut on this man is kind of insane. Like, bro has a Karen cut. I do appreciate though that his head is like fuzzy and they didn't just like paint on hair details. So it's got that like little peach fuzz fabric on it. He's a lot of fun. He came with a stand, which I appreciate because I didn't have any stands for male dolls and they can't fit in the ones for girls because their waists are itty bitty. But yeah, I really like this Hunter doll, even if his hair is super goofy. And yeah, you know, if you wanted to, you could look at this haircut and say, that makes sense for a butch lesbian. Mama, this is a butch lesbian. Hashtag more lesbians represented in Ever After High. Which, I'm gonna be so serious right now. The series was gay. We're kind of heading towards the end of my collection. And here we have Duchess Swan, who is a doll that I wanted also for a very long time. I just think that her design is so beautiful, so unique. Swan Lake is my favorite Barbie movie, the one with Odette and Odile. I also really like Black Swan, but definitely not the same like target audience for those movies. So I watched that later in life. But I love Duchess Swan and the show as a character. I like her antics with Sparrow Hood. And then the doll is just another chef's kiss. I, once again, love these shoes that are a reference to, like, what were they called? Horse heels that, like, Lady Gaga wore. But they also work as point shoes, so, like, ballet slippers. They have these giant bows on the side, and there's, like, all these kind of curly ribbon details on the shoes themselves. She has got this dual-layer skirt that has the kind of crosshatch pattern underneath that matches her fishnet tights, and then they have these beautiful feathers on top, as well as a corset around her waist. She comes with all of her jewelry, so we see she has this like collar necklace, as well as this very cute swan pendant bracelet. I believe that's a swan. Yes, it is. And then these feather earrings, which were very chic at the time that she was made, but also make sense to her as a swan. I really like her Cruella de Vil, like two-tone hair, as well as this big dramatic headpiece that she is wearing. She is also one of two dolls that have the taller body mold, in case you didn't know. Let's see, we can do a little comparison. So putting them side by side, you can see that she is definitely a little taller. Obviously, like, nowadays, like the Barbie Fashionista line, as well as the G3 Monster High dolls, other doll lines, are doing way better in terms of body diversity. So I'm happy to have the little bit of body diversity represented in my doll collection that there was in Ever After High. But yeah, she's one of the two, and we'll see the second very soon. So the other tall girl that was part of Ever After High was Cerise Hood, which I think makes sense thematically because she is part wolf. You see she is pretty much complete. She's missing her bracelets, but she does have her purse. In this case it's a basket, which Duchess, who I got from that same seller, did not have. She has, once again, two-tone hair. She comes with her hood. I'm really upset though they didn't go the extra mile and give her the wolf ears, which she has in the show. Though I'm not sure, maybe the San Diego Comic-Con doll does have it. She is wearing these beautiful tights. Once again, a girl in pants in Ever After High. She has this like flannel shirt dress thing with a big belt on it, and this functional clasp for her Cerise hood. And yeah, she has all these like nice wood, into the woods, trees, that sort of detailing on her coat. And then in terms of her boots, she has these kind of like fringe, maybe moccasin inspired boots with a wedge heel on them, which I don't know if the actual character would be wearing those big heels as she stomps through the woods, but there is some artistic license happening, and I think that she is really great. I love her kind of muted lip tone as well as her dark smoky makeup. It makes her really stand out from the other girls who tend to be more so like high glam. The final two dolls who are part of my illustrious collection are the O'Hare sisters. So we'll start with Poppy, who is secretly the oldest. I really like her two-toned hair. I think that's something that sets her apart and really conveys that she is a hairstylist. This is a complete doll. I got her and her sister from a seller on Facebook Marketplace who just put them up as a regular listing rather than trying to finagle through the groups. She has this cute kind of Rosie the Riveter head wrap, darker makeup than her sister, as well as pierced ears. She has this giant earring that I don't think any of the other dolls have. Then she has this one, they're asymmetrical. She wears this big infinity scarf, once again very much dating them, with a little Poppy in it because that's her name. She has this dress and a belt. On the sides you can see that there's kind of this, I don't know what that's called, like lacing, this lacing detail that she also has on her leggings. Her shoes, not as detailed as some of the other ones, but there's these nice big boots, and I do appreciate that she has the big like pictures of scissors on the back. Must be. What? Who said that? Yeah, and then she has this purse which has pockets in it that she could carry some scissors or other hairstyling accessories in. So I think that's a good bit of like actual storytelling that is present within her doll. And secondly, and lastly, we have Holly O'Hare, who is Poppy's twin sister. She has this cute little fringe purse, which matches her color scheme perfectly. She has the longest hair of any of the dolls, which totally makes sense for her storyline as Rapunzel's daughter. She has hairbrush earrings, this big kind of statement jewelry necklace, and yeah, she has this beautiful dress that has this kind of rope detailing that could also be hair if you want to get a little icky with it. And then in terms of her shoes, you can see on the heels themselves, just like her sister, that's where the main detailing lies. And you can see that they're brick, so that's like the tower that she, as Rapunzel, will be trapped in. And then the front is covered with vines, which is so fun. Yeah, and then she sports this little tiara, which the other girls have things that are kind of evocative of tiaras, but I think that she's the only one out of my collection for certain that has a full-on tiara to indicate that like she's fully a princess. So this one, I was so happy to get her and her sister together, and they both have all of their accessories as far as I am aware. So I fully intend to keep on collecting. It's something that I very much enjoy, especially in the summertime when I am able to work a lot more since I'm not in school, and so I am able to spend some of that extra income that I don't have during the school year on these frivolous little things that make me really happy. And you know, they are kind of a form of insurance because I tend to collect higher quality dolls in terms of having their accessories, and you know, their hair is styled okay, you know, they're not dirty or anything. They could be worth maybe some money someday if I ever had to sell them off, but I really don't want to. In terms of next steps in my collection, I really want to get all of the Wonderland kids. So I would love to get Kitty and Lizzie to kind of complete that set. Would also love to get the Cupid doll, since I think that she's super unique. I always liked her in the webisodes, and I'm a big fan of her being brought back for G3 of Monster High, so I'd like to get those two dolls, maybe even the original G1 Monster High, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. And I guess maybe Daring Charming if I found him at like a yard sale. I'm not paying too much money for that man. He has ugly boots. But it would be cool to be able to have all of the boy dolls as well. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm hoping to go into the future with these dolls. And maybe if I build up my Monster High collection, I can do like a longer video about that, but right now it's not that exciting. I have 16 Wishes Spectra, just the classic Lorna McNessie, and then the Ghoulia doll that came with this scooter. So not too exciting on the Monster High front. This is where my heart lies, and I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with my collection in the future. Yeah. So hope that anyone watching enjoyed this video. If you're using it to fall asleep to, I hope that you have sweet dreams. If you're another collector, let me know in the comments below which dolls you have and what you think of my collection. But yeah, that's it. I just kind of wanted to yap at the camera for 20 minutes or however long this video is.